Hi everyone, welcome to review of lecture 3. This week we've looked at gender in more detail. We've covered chapters 2 and 3 of the textbook. I've highlighted with you through discussion in classes and going through the lectures a number of issues. We looked specifically at the issue of motherhood and the implications of motherhood for women at work, both in terms of women that actually decide to have children and ones that don't. I raised issues around unpaid work and the domestic versus the public realm of work, both of which are issues that are gone into in the textbook and are important to understand. One of those issues, for instance, being that if the work that's done in the home, unpaid work done in the home, is devalued, what happens is that work, when it translates into workplaces and occupations, say in the work of nursing, which is primarily nurturing and caring work, or seen that way, even though it has quite a strong component actually of technical knowledge, is perceived to be undervalued by nurses, and usually that is the basis of their agitation and claims in their industrial relations and employment relations strategies. So this undervaluing of the work that happens in the home translates into the workplace, and then it becomes an occupational and an industrial issue. So we looked at the issue of motherhood and careers, part-time work, which creates sort of a conundrum for women in terms of how they want to juggle and balance their careers. We also touched on the issue of women that don't have children and raised the point that these women still have similar issues. They still get judged about their femininity or lack of it because of their decision not to have children, or maybe the fact they don't decide not to have children at all actually, but just don't have them for other reasons, including infertility and things like that. So we looked at a number of issues around women. I also introduced you to some material around that's covered in the second chapter, the concept of the concrete wall, concrete ceiling, the glass ceiling and the silicone ceiling, which are terms you'll often use, and they're quite sort of powerful metaphors for describing how different occupational and social groups get segmented and siloed either horizontally or vertically into either occupational groups if it's horizontal vertical segregation, or into particular levels within organisations if it's horizontal segregation. So we talked about some of those issues, and then we moved on and we looked at actually men that work in feminised occupations, and the idea here was just to elicit the fact that work is gendered. It's not actually asexual, it's not ungendered, it's not invisible. In fact, these processes that we've talked about this week are actually very real for people, and by looking at men within feminised occupations and discussing some research that we did today, I think that those issues became very apparent, and they create a number of issues around a number of quite big issues. For example, when we talked about men and their comfort levels within, say, within teaching at preschool and primary school level, for example, regarding their masculinity and the way that they're able to perform their masculinity at work, which they sometimes feel very constrained about doing, unfortunately. So we talked about those issues. We didn't look at the issue of professional bodies, which I really would like to do, and I'll take that up at some other time. So we had quite a good session today, and next week we're going to carry on, and I'm going to introduce now a number of other issues facing a number of other groups in the workplace. So we'll broaden out from understanding some of the basic things about gender and work. We're going to broaden out and look at other issues next week. Thank you for your participation in class today, and we will see you next week. Bye.